should probably add myself to live stream and mute this other side. Look at this. I haven't had guests in so long, you guys. I'm so nervous. This is just so weird for me. Holy moly. How are you guys? Thank you so much, Ray with Van Life Rocks, for the raid. Fabulous. I have a few ideas for your buckets as well. I'll tell you later. One of the very first things, you guys, that I want to do is wish my son Braden a happy birthday. 20 years ago, that young man was brought into my life, and he is the most amazing person I have ever met. And I love him more than anything. I just put a quick little thing to wish him a happy birthday. Nothing that really shows what he looks like now or anything that'll embarrass him, because I can be a little on the embarrassing side. He's watched my Saturday night live streams, let me just tell you. But before I play that, I want to thank Marshall with Mellow Nomadic Adventures, Dream on Wheelz, and Ava Potterfield and friends so much for sharing out this live stream. You guys are amazing. So let's wish my son a happy birthday. I watched that and I literally get tears in my eyes, you guys. I hope you all know what it's like to love someone as much as I love my son, because he is just the biggest blessing in the whole world. So Braden, you're probably out with your friends, but when you do get to see this, I love you more than anything. Oh, Gina, Van Life of Gina, thank you as well for sharing out the live stream. Later, we are going to raid Van Life with Gina, and she has some really interesting stuff going on, you guys. It's going to be pretty awesome. All right, let me go back to the chat for a second and say some hellos. Tracy, thank you so much. Yes, Vanquish, they do. They grow up so fast. It's just a blink of an eye. Hello, Michael Ann, Dad Cam Rocks, Desert Adventures in Arizona, Shebna, Alberta Schoolie. Time for Exploring, Evening Shade. Oh, Kenneth Oaks, Stream on Wheels. You guys are all absolutely amazing. Fit for Expedition, Mo Bang for your bucks. Thank you guys for being here. Thanks for being part of my little. I love my son. Wishing him a happy birthday. This is only the second time in his entire life that I have not been with him on his birthday. It is really weird for me, but it's all a part of growing up and that independence and taking that step towards freedom, which is something that tonight's guests have done. Hello, Ray. Hello, Lillian. Hello, Floss and Michelle. So today's guests, you all know and love them just as much as I do. We have Dream on Wheelz here, and I am getting some really weird looks from Travis right now. Travis, I was talking about your wife. Before I bring them up, though, I just want us all to say some prayers for Aaron Jemison. He lost his wife today. Yeah. So on a day where I am celebrating the birth of my son, my heart just goes out to Aaron. It was a really quick event, a tragic loss for him. So lots of prayers for him and his family. Thank you guys so much for that. All right, shake it off, shake it off, shake it off. Barefoot Adventures, hello, hello. How are you, Diane? New Horizons. Anne, hello, hello. Okay, so I am going to bring up Travis and Yanai, and we are going to just hammer them with questions. You guys, as many questions as you can come up with. There's no such thing as too personal. Just kidding, guys, just kidding. All right, here they come.
You love us? You really love us?
I love Yanai.
Ray, put the rings away.
Pardon?
Nothing at all.
Troublemaker. So you guys have just loaded up yourselves and your family into your unit, and you've been on the road. Like, no more wishing for it to happen. It's going on. Oh my gosh, what is it like?
I'm excited. I'm absolutely ecstatic because, you know, as a lot of you all know, when this was first coming about, she was hard set that, nah, we're going out on this journey and we're going to only be part-time after that. Maybe go out once a month, you know. And 3 days in, she was hooked. Yeah, it only took 3 days of boondocking. 3 boondocking days and she was hooked.
You know, I remember when you would come into like member streams and stuff, and we'd never see an eye. She was always off in the background working on stuff. She was the one that didn't want to downsize her clothes.
Right? We were already scheming with shipping her clothes to Angie. And if we crossed the border, V said, you know, send some up there. Like, her shoes and clothes were going all across the country so that I could get her to go across the country.
How do you feel about it now, though, Yanai?
It has been amazing. Let me tell you, this experience has been, I don't have the words to put it on, you know. I'm so happy that we get to do this. I'm so happy that we are going back to the road after we live here and do the stuff that we have to do here. And I'm excited. I cannot wait.
Yeah, this hotel sucks. I want my money back.
So how has this changed things within your relationship hitting the road?
With the relationship, it haven't changed nothing.
No,
because we used to be together, you know, 24/7. So it has not changed nothing in our relationship. It has changed in like in the family. Because we in the house, everybody got their own rooms and their own space. In the RV, you don't have that, you know, a lot of space to be, you know, away from each one. So we have been more together and finding the stuff that we like to do together, like playing cards and board games and all kind of stuff. So it changed us as a family.
Yeah, I mean, like the biggest example that it has truly changed the family dynamic is Kanai was the...
Sorry.
She had audio up on her phone. Kanai was the biggest one against going at all. You know, he wanted to stay here, even if that meant staying with his bossy older sister. He didn't care. You know, he didn't want to go out and everything else. And a lot of those who have hung out with us over the road have watched his development, you know, especially those who've been in a couple meetups with him and everything else, as he's gone from staying in the rig to being out of the rig, hanging out with other people, hanging out with other kids, and, you know, really fully flourishing once we got to the Mayberry meetup, you know, to the point that once we got back home, once we got back here to the house, the very first night back, within just a couple hours, he said, all I want is the Wi-Fi from the house and we can go right now.
He didn't want to stay?
No.
He wanted to hit the road again.
Yes.
And how old is he now?
He's going to be 16 in March.
Wow. For a 16-year-old to come around that quickly, that's amazing.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah. I mean, everybody that's seen us hanging out at Amana and then between Branson and, you know, seeing how much he would drag his head and everything when we would make them come out to hang around the fires and everything else, to the point where then at Michigan, he was coming more freely on his own here and there, to then, you know, with Mayberry. And I think the big thing was, you know, finally at Mayberry, we really got to be around other kids their ages, you know, so it really helped them seeing other kids living this life, whether temporary or full-time, because they were both there, and seeing them getting out there and enjoying it too. that, and realizing they're not alone in this. There are other kids that have to, that can experience and they can relate to, as far as these evil people making me travel around the country and see these new wonderful things that my books nowadays aren't even going to teach me in school.
Exactly.
Well, I noticed watching, because, I watch everybody in the community's videos and live streams and stuff, but I've really noticed this last meetup in Maryberry that I see the kids a lot more. Like, even I watched the pie eating contest, another version of that today. And I'm just like, wow, like they are really just coming out of their shells.
Yes. And that was amazing. I'm like, I talked to nursing our travel at our travel bug, and I told her, like, thank you, because she make her kids knocking our door and say, hey, come, and then it comes stranger danger.
One strange adventure.
One stranger adventure.
Stranger danger. Wow.
They come to the RV and say, hey, we are here, come out, and then the kids instantaneously like, okay, let's go.
Well, NOTB's kids, they've been doing this basically full time for over 3 years now. So they have kind of, for a group of folks and other kids as well, been the mascot greenie kids for introducing those new to it out there. And seeing Janice ask a question a minute ago, they're actually adjusting really well to the remote learning. They actually, last year and a half, even before the school year, for the last year and a half, they've basically were already doing remote learning. And at first it was a struggle because our school district wasn't set up for it and everything. So there were some grades that were faltering and issues with it. But this year they're in a program where that's what they do. Remote virtual learning is all that those teachers deal with. And so they know how to interact with the kids. They know how to engage them more and get them to really absorb the material. And so we've seen some huge improvements in grades.
Yeah.
Well, it seems like the timing for when you guys decided to do this and the way the world is working with their school, it kind of coincides very well.
Everything. Yeah. Yep.
Like they're not missing out on going into school for their education, because that still wouldn't be happening. And instead they have so many new experiences.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at the beginning it was like, we are going here, and they were like, and people looking out of I love looking out of the window when we are in the road, and they are like in phones or doing whatever. I'm like, and then while we were going to meet up, I see them getting into the windows and, okay, where are we going now? Are we going to Michigan? It's time for Michigan. It's time for Mayberry. I'm like, hold. We have to go there first. And we went to another place before Mayberry. So hold up, we're going to go there.
Yeah.
They were so excited. They were.
So I see Ann Jay's got a question. So she remembers going to family trips we all love to go on, but the longer the trip, the more we got on each other's nerves. Does that happen with your family? If not, what did you do to prevent it? It absolutely happens. Okay. I'm not even going to lie. They are still brother and sister. They are still siblings. They still fight like cats and dogs at times, to the point that we're going, if you all don't shush, somebody's coming knocking on the door, because they're going to think you all are dead serious fighting when you're just goofing around, arguing, fighting like normal at home, But there are moments where one has to go to one end of the rig and the other goes to the other end. There are those moments where it's that, hey, that push that button just a hair too far, leave him alone or leave her alone, and then
you can go outside too and really expand the space. But how big is your unit now? Because you actually have room to send the kids to each side.
Yeah, ours is a 35-foot Class A. So we do have a little bit of room, especially if they get in those arguments while we're driving down the road. It's one of you's up front, one of you's in the back, and if we're parked somewhere, it's the same thing, or somebody go outside.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so here's my question. Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm surprised I waited this long to ask it, but okay, so like, you're like a young, healthy couple, and
it only took 15 minutes.
What do you do with the kids around? How do you focus on your relationship?
Well,
and you know what I'm saying.
The thing is, I'm a mom that, okay, I got teenagers, and I openly talk to them about everything, you know. So it's not that I say, hey, I'm doing this tonight, you know. I don't say that, but I
No,
talk
but
to them.
we do, you know, the way our rig is set up, you know, you open up the bathroom, the head door, and it opens up and blocks the hallway to the front side of the bathroom. And then also after that is a divider door that slides as well right at the bedroom as well, to where it creates a space in between of the bathroom, blocks it off from the front to the back. You know, so I mean, it's for us, it's the close the door. There's a curtain also as well up front, plus close the other door, and
of course I'm like,
or whatever. More like. And it's turn the TV on.
What I was thinking about. Like, do you teach them to sleep with earplugs, or here, play your music to sleep tonight? Right?
The kids, when they go to bed, they go to bed. The RV can be moving and rocking and everything, and
they're dead. They're dead sleepers. We have that privilege of having dead sleeper children.
Well, that's fantastic. And it's good that you still get to have that.
It's funny that Lance actually asked this, because when we were in Elkhart and we went through the RV museum up there, we actually saw this little pop-up trailer that we joked about, you know, that little pop-up trailer would be perfect for them as a bedroom when we go places, to where they could just be outside the rig. And they're like, oh, we don't want to stay in there. And I was like, fine, I'll go out there and you can have him.
Hey, people are glad I finally asked the question. See, people are afraid to talk about that kind of stuff, but that's important. I mean, if you're going to be a family out on the road, you can't neglect your relationship. And it's not like you have tiny children that don't know what's going on in the world.
Right.
Right. So kudos to you guys. Absolutely. I'm just scrolling through quick to see if we have any questions. Yep. Rocket, RV, rocket. Oh, turn up the TV. Don't turn up the TV in your own room, Susan. It's only loud for you, not for people outside of the room. It has to be noisy at the end that you don't want them to be hearing, right?
No, Ray, we're not making videos.
No.
Oh, am I that far behind in the chat?
You're not that far behind.
Oh. Can you make a video of that? Oh, maybe how you set up the doors and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
got you. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Get a hotel.
You see?
Boys, behave. Actually, it's usually
and that's
the
the
women
thing.
in these live streams that are the worst. So
between both Instagram and Facebook and even TikTok, I honestly, as far as that topic goes, I've only come across 5 videos ever that truly where the couples are willing to discuss how do you handle that side of your life, because you are still human.
Yep. Yeah, it is very important. Absolutely. So do you think the kids, and we're not talking about the videos that you just thought Ray was referring to, but do you think they're going to want to start making their own perspective kind of videos of the travels for your channel? Have they ever talked about that?
We're working on that. We're working on trying to get them more into doing that. It's also one of the reasons why with some of our videos, which is some of the content still not out there, that when we're out somewhere, I'm trying to get them to take the camera, do the talking, get them more comfortable to having to be the one to describe what's going on around them and what they're doing and hanging out and everything.
But when we were in Mayberry, we rent this how you say, the go-kart, and he went
the golf cart.
He went for this
I did my little park tour. And so we made Diami be the one with the camera.
And people was like, oh, nice. And she was when she get into the camera and she started talking to everyone, she is like, share this, like that. And we got so many in the house. And I'm like, girl, I
was watching. That was so awesome.
Yeah. Like
she's a teenager doing that is like, wow, you guys have a really great relationship with those kids that they feel comfortable to do that.
Yeah. And she's reluctant at first, but then it's once she's doing it, she forgets that and she starts having fun with it.
Yeah.
Kanai, on the other hand, he's more of a I shut down when the camera's on.
Yeah.
You know, to the point where we joke, you know, it is a running joke in the house that the way he eats, he should have been the one in the pie eating contest. He would have gave Tim a run for his money. But because as soon as the camera's on him, he freezes.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just, he's, you know, I've even told him, I said, dude, we can start a Dream on Wheels Twitch, you know, and you can just start by getting into it by just conversing with folks while you're live streaming your broadcast.
Mm-hmm. I think though, as you guys are going to more meetups and they're meeting more of our community, it will make it easier to be more comfortable.
Yeah.
Because it'll be like they're talking to them, people that they've already met.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And they've already started with nicknames for everybody that they come across.
Oh, good Lord. When they meet me, I don't want to know what kind of nicknames they're going to be coming up with.
We got Marshall is the guitar man. We got Roncis is the pineapple man.
Of course.
Kevin is the wolf man. And who else got?
Yeah, Kevin Nomak is the wolf man. And of course, then Nate's just the fluffy dog guy.
Yeah. She put names to everyone.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. Okay. So, you know, initially you guys didn't, you know, weren't completely maybe all together on the same page about doing this, but now do you see yourself doing this long term?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
So now, are you guys working, or has this been sort of like a holiday?
No, I've been working stuff. Mm-hmm.
Oh, so you have remote work?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Both of you do?
Well, I'm for the moment I'm the manager of the house.
Oh,
and actually I've been helping with the YouTube side. I've been helping with a lot of stuff behind, you know, camera. So
yeah. You've been doing a lot of the media stuff that you guys have going on. Like you're posting all the time on Instagram and on Facebook and which is really nice. It's really nice to be able to keep up with where people are, just even in a picture, because we become so invested in how you're living your life.
Yeah.
How is your hand, by the way? Did you get the stitches out?
No.
They are coming out tonight. Right after this.
Oh my goodness.
Well, last night they were going to come out right after the live stream, and then she smacked her hand. So then she was really,
I was like, no.
Yeah. So they're coming out tonight. She doesn't have a choice.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. Elizabeth says, yes, Jania's the boss. Remember that, Travis.
Lizzie, we know where you live.
I'm the boss. Yeah, no, he's a tiki-taki girl.
So you guys know that in January I want to come down, and hopefully I'll get to meet you guys and stuff. But what are some things that you guys have learned maybe the hard way that you could share with us?
Hard way.
Sometimes the hard thing is having to accept that you might actually, close enough, Lizzie, that you might actually have to accept that you're done driving for the day. Even though you may not be tired, you just may mentally not be in it. And you just have to just say, okay, I'm pulling over. I'm done for the day. I may not be at the campground I was planning on being at. So we're boondocking for now. And also, that not all boondocking locations are the most ideal. Some of them have, sometimes the Walmart you end up choosing with, because it does allow it, is the only place in the town where you're at that's got a parking lot big enough. But it could also be Thursday, Friday, Saturday night, and that's the teenage hangout everywhere for the whole town. Yep. And you're in a small town, and there's like 150 cars coming and going at any given moment, revving their engines, playing their radios, and you still got to go sleep.
Oh, I thought that would happen at like 7-Elevens and stuff. I never thought of it at the Walmarts.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Like when we went to Mayberry,
that
was the worst one we came across. And there's been a couple people have, seen that they've, posted about it since then too, is that, that for Mayberry, Mount Airy, that Walmart was the hangout place. And it didn't just immediately stop at 10 and 11 o'clock at night. Now, the bulk of it did. But they had a festival and stuff going on that weekend as well. So some of the kids they disappeared, and then they came through again later, a few hours later.
Well, for me, one of the hardest things is accepting that you are done for the day. So it takes me a process from when we start in Amana and when we finish in Mayberry. The people, I have to work on that. The first one in Amana, it was just a handful of people, and then we went to Branson, little more people, and then Michigan, it was more, and then Mayberry, boom, you got a lot of people there. For me, it was realizing you are done for the day. You have to go to bed, you have to shut down and reset for the next day.
And even sometimes it's that when you're out boondocking, it's, you crash somewhere, but you got to get up the next morning. You can't just sleep in. You got to get up and you got to move. Me
personally, I got up really like 7 a.m. I want to go out. I want to see everyone, and I want to be there. But it was 8 and I was like, I'm dying. Or in the events when people were coming all together at the same time, it's like, oh my, it's too much for me to handle at the same time. So plus I was tired, plus all the people, I have to learn how to deal with those two combined. And okay, this is my time to go. Bye.
Well, yeah, I can understand, not wanting to look rude or that fear of missing out. But at the same time, dealing with so many people, especially after the last year and a half, has got to be exhausting. And now my understanding watching a lot of live streams is a lot of people hung out at your site, didn't they?
Yes.
Okay, and we love it. That had to have made it a lot more exhausting. Like I would be, how do I go to sleep?
It's exhausting, but it's exhilarating at the same time, because you realize that everybody's coming over to hang out with you because, one, for the most part, those were occurring because we were the first ones in. So we were the first ones already set up. So when people were showing up and they didn't feel like fully setting up, they realized they could just do what they had to do to be set up and then just come over, hang out, relax, chill, whatever, and then finally go deal with whatever they needed to deal with.
So which one of you got the least sleep? Let's say at the last meetup. Travis?
The last meetup, him.
I get the least sleep always.
And I'm going to say why. Let me tell you why.
Okay,
he's like a little kid. The kids, when they are so excited and like the energy. Okay, so we get up like 7 a.m.
Oh, you get up at 7. I've already been up since 4:30.
That's right, because of the work. But when it was
even on the days when our work systems were down, I still was waking up at 4:30 in the morning.
So you a little ADHD there, dear? A little hyper?
Yeah.
No, I have more ADD than ADHD. But yes, I'm actually a clinically diagnosed.
So, main event, we all go into the campfire and everything, and he is the last one getting out of the fire. I'm like, it's 12, and he is not in the RV yet. I'm like, dude, are you gonna sleep sometime? But he did that every night. But
even when we were here at the house, I mean, for me, 4 hours is just what I'm used to. Even when we were working at the airport, I functioned best off of those 4 hours.
I couldn't do it. I absolutely could not do it. Good for you, though.
And it would crack me up. Like we would be, and the funny thing is, like the least of sleep normally does function better for me. But for an example, we were driving long hours one day, and I finally got to the point my eyes were tired. I mentally was not tired, but my eyes were. So while they were at that point, we pulled over, we stopped. She was like, "You coming back here to the back to lay down?" And I'm like, nope. I'm staying right here. And Diami was like, "What do you mean?" And I leaned my seat back. I threw one leg up on one side of the steering wheel, the other on the other side, and I laid back and I went to sleep right there for an hour and a half.
Yep.
And then I woke up and drove another 6 hours.
Yep.
Wow. Whoa. So we have a question. You guys are full-time now. Is that the plan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Just wanted to double check. There's a lot of comments, and I saw a lot about the pina coladas. Let me tell you how jealous this kid was.
See, the thing is, by the time you get down here, it won't only be the pina coladas.
What else?
Because you'll be coming in the season for something else as well.
Yeah.
What's the next season?
Well, for our season is starting in Puerto Rico right now, like late October, starting November for the Christmas holidays. So here in the United States, they got the eggnog, and we got our version of the eggnog. So I'm gonna be doing pina coladas because I know a lot of people want to repeat that, but I'm gonna do too my version of eggnog.
Yeah, we got some comments on the eggnog and some suggestions for the moose milk. So I think we can combine those. We definitely can make some really interesting festive drinks. I am looking forward to it.
Yeah, I will be, since you can't come across the borders with certain ththings, I will be having to go back and visit some the videos with the recipes to make sure I have items stocked up.
Well, I love that to make the drink moose milk. I mean, I can buy that alcohol when I get into the US. The actual bottles, I can just bring really the two, unless I find out how much the duty is. But we get dinged a lot for silly things sometimes. Like I have a package that was supposed to come in the mail today, and I got to spend $30 just to get it. And I think that was duty because it was something I didn't get through Amazon.
Yeah. Naj knows coquito.
Yeah.
Ooh,
that's nice. What it's actually called.
Yeah.
She'd never heard of ceviche until she met you.
She haven't tried it. She haven't tried it yet, but we are trying to get to her so she can try the ceviche.
Musitos don't sound good to me.
That's a mixture between the coquito and the moose milk.
Yeah. Oh, I love Susan. Angie, we are being ripped off. I want the eggnog also. Well, Angie and Susan, they've been bragging that they're going to be down in Florida at the beach while the rest of us are hitting courtside and everything else this winter. And it's like, whatever. You won't have her stuff. Ron? Excuse me, sir.
See, he's dreaming about your wife. But you know what? In these meetups too, we've got to see you through your videos and streams and everybody else's. I mean, we've really got to get to know you, even though I haven't, like, for example, met you in person. But like, you guys have been the center of the universe at these events. Like the pina coladas, the pink hair, facial hair on the head. I mean, is that going to be something that's going to be a theme continuously for you guys? Or was it mostly just this last event with the whole pink deal?
I think it's going to come another.
It's under considerations. There was a really huge deal behind it, as to why I did it and everything else for me personally.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate everybody else who also, participated as well, showing their support, Marshall and Blaine and Ron and Kevin. But there really was with that one, there was a really personal side to it. Oh, and Jason from 3 AM Forge, he was in here earlier too. But we are contemplating and considering continuing on as well.
Yeah.
But with the next ones, it probably will go to a point where if we are doing them, that, those items will have to particularly go to those, those events and stuff, that they're specifically labeled for that.
Like still keep the pink for the cancer, right? Like still keep that meaning there.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Cause that's an ever going fight right now. Even though October is coming to an end, it is an ever-going fight for our family right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm so sorry to hear that you guys are going through that. But it was nice to see the troops kind of rallying behind, right? And bring so much awareness out into the community. That's something that you guys started in your own fun way. You really educated people.
And seeing people saying thank you just because we did his hair and the other people.
Yeah, those who didn't even know why.
Exactly.
Before they even knew why, they would see it and know what it was for, and were thinking even beforehand.
It was like, whoa.
That's pretty intense.
Yeah.
Pretty deep, but then there's the fluffy, superficial side with Travis and his coconuts.
Oh no.
Now, I think a lot of people were trying to be a little too hands-on with your husband, sweetheart.
Well,
and I was not there.
They
I was
weren't
down
even
for
just
the night.
they weren't even just hands-on. Blaine was motorboating my coconuts in front of Mallory. I walk over and just talking with Mallory. Next thing I know, Blaine's motorboating my coconuts.
There was a lot of drinking going on at this event, wasn't there?
A lot of this, sadly, was done by sober people.
I think
let's see. Blaine motorboated my coconuts. KT slow momentum grabbed on them. Johnny felt on my coconuts as well. From Johnny's journey. She even got invested. It was there was a few folks.
Yep.
Well, Tim says he tapped him.
Yep. Tim tapped him. Sure did. Yep.
I know Rob and Jan Can Van, that must not have been comfortable.
It was awkward.
Motorboating coconuts?
I mean, it was awkward. Right in front of his wife. I said I was so sorry. And she just shook her head like she was not surprised. That was the most shocking part.
Yep.
Oh my goodness. Goodness.
But Mallory, it was one of the girls.
Yes, Gracie.
Yes. Girls that I have ever met. It was like at the beginning I was so worried because they joke hard. I was like, oh my God, what's she gonna say? But she was fun and she laughed about everything. And I'm like, yes, she's, and apparently it was Mayberry was her first meetup that she was like, she was a little bit of
Mayberry was her first meetup.
Yeah.
Because she had the issues going on with her grandmother at the time when it was for Branson.
From Branson.
Because they were originally supposed to start their journey then. But
yeah, a lot of people saying it's the sober ones. Well, you think about it, your meetup is mostly YouTubers. And so there are people on YouTube that tend to like a little attention and like to be outgoing, right? I kind of wonder what to expect when a person's in a group setting. Like, do people kind of compete for the attention, or how does that work out with so many extroverts together?
I didn't see no competition.
Honestly, I don't feel like they're, at least so far for us with these meetups, I don't honestly feel like there's truly a competition for the most attention. There does have the tendency to be clashes at times when everybody just, because when the extroverts kick, their switches flip on and they're out there. So when you've got 30 to 50 of you standing around, there sometimes can be a clash just because how many people's switches may switch on all at the same time. Because you have, with that many people, you're not all right there on top of each other. You have different little clusters throughout. And so you'll have different clusters all firing off at the same time.
But that's one of the things that I like from this meetup, because you go with a mentality, okay, you are in YouTube meetup, maybe you are the new ones, and people, you're gonna have big channels, little channels, smaller channels, medium channels, and they're gonna look at you different. But no, they don't. You are there and everybody say hi, everybody say hey, and at the end everybody's saying goodbye and everybody's crying because they are leaving,
Yeah.
And I end up with phone numbers, and I get my number and text me and hey, hi. I got like 10 numbers now from Michigan, between Branson and Mayberry. I got like 10 numbers, new numbers in my phone.
Yeah, and it's true. I think it was Ron just a second ago. Yeah, we're not really competing at meetups. You end up actually finding yourself afterwards and going, crap, I didn't film that.
Yeah.
Crap, that was awesome content.
Yeah.
That's another thing I want to ask.
A good time.
Yeah.
What is the etiquette for everyone at a meetup like that? Like I'm thinking personally, like I've only been to one and I recorded nothing. I mean, I did a live stream at the event, but I recorded nothing because I was there to meet everyone.
So,
but there's time. Well, I guess I've been to two now, but I just think, is there always a camera on you?
not on you and from,
No.
but you're gonna see everybody with their cameras and saying hi, hey. And I'm the one who never, I always get the pictures. I have to remind myself to get pictures with everyone, because if not, I get out of the meetup and I realize, oops, I didn't take no pictures.
Yeah.
So, but everybody's there. Everybody knows that you're gonna record at some point and that you're gonna publicize that in your channel.
I mean, you're aware of the fact that, you know, there could be a camera on you at any moment and you not know. Ron's been, you know, easily the victim of that numerous times, as he knows, and, you know, but he's also caught other people as well.
Yeah.
You know, Marshall, he's a pro at catching folks in those moments. You know, it just happens. But for the most part, there's no jealousy, there's no competition over it. I mean, well, except for Susan, she says she was jealous of the attention my coconuts got. But, you know, hey, it's not my fault if my coconuts were real and not plastic.
Well, I just wonder about some of the things that, I mean, there is the side of us that everybody sees on our videos and our live streams, but then there's that other part that we kind of keep a little bit on the down low that doesn't come out until you're in a group in person, right?
Yeah,
right.
It is.
So, you know, there might be different language and types of jokes that may not be PG, right?
I have to he like I said, he's like a kid and he get excited and he thinks everybody jokes the same. So I'm the one like, hey, be careful. We just get here. And I'm like,
she's like, we're the newbies. You got to be careful. And I'm like, dude, I can't not be myself. I mean, I am a certain way on camera, so I'm supposed to be the same exact way off camera. And if that's who I am, that's who I am. Yeah. You know, but I've also learned, and, you know, one of the things that she didn't know, you know, because she wasn't out there, was the fact that, you know, even though, you know, for a lot of people, they feel we're new to the game, you know, they've only been aware of us since this past May. There's a handful that knows that we were around prior to that, or at least knows that I was around prior to that, before we actually started our channel, really, in everybody's live streams and stuff. So, you know, there's a lot of the folks out here that I've already been watching and interacting with and getting to know for well over a year and a half.
Yeah.
And I know what kind of people they are to an extent. Yeah, there's still a little bit, reserved of, okay, well, just how far can I push with this one or whatever. But most part, I've always been a good judge on at least who can handle a good joke at least once.
Yeah.
Some people,
so
12 times later, Ron.
Does it feel like you're almost too familiar with one another because you do feel like you've known each other for so long? Because we share a lot about ourselves on our channels, right?
Yes.
So, I mean, what is it like to get to meet everyone face to face?
You jump into the, I call it the fan, and I'm like, for example, I was waiting for nursing our travel bug, and I was like, she's here, she came. I was like, oh yeah, I have to hold it. And then she came to the RV because we were doing the piña coladas and the ceviche. Charlie Grace have the cheese and all the grapes, but me personally, I'm like, she's here. It happens to me with Charlie Grace when we met her in M21. I'm like, Charlie Grace is here, and then she passed by the RV. I'm like, hi.
Yeah. You know, there are some folks that are out there that sometimes you might have so much of a connection to, you do have that fan moment.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. But it doesn't mean that there's any less.
Travis's coconuts.
You know, it doesn't mean that there's any less of a connection with one over the other just because you don't have a fan moment with this one that you do with the other. You know, it's just some people you just connect with on a different level.
Yeah. And then I got the surprise of the year, which was Kevin from the Normal Experience. We came on Sunday to M21, and he showed up to Michigan to Monday, right?
Yeah, we were there on Sunday.
Yeah. So he came with the doggies and stopping in our RV. We were alone there, just me and him outside. And I know him because of his voice. Yes. He is the one watching his videos. She
hadn't really ever watched his live streams and his videos and stuff, where I would be watching, but, you know, like, you know, there was all those times that everybody's like, well, there's Travis, but where's Unai? Normally she was still within 5 feet or so listening.
So he came and he sit down with us. He started talking. Oh yeah, I'm coming back, you know, and I'm gonna do my live stream here. You know, and that's where that's the moment where I'm like, he got a big channel and we don't got nothing, you know, compared to him in numbers, but he sat down with us. He eat with us. He loved my piña coladas, you know. He was like, can I have some more? And I was like, okay, you know. And I told him, I'm sorry, I'm not the one watching your videos, it's him. But I know you, I recognize your voice, you know. And he started laughing. My daughter instantly fell in love with the dogs. And he started giving her the dogs to walk around and everything. So, you know, when you are in this type of meetups, it's like you are in a big family.
And that's one of the biggest things that you'll learn real quick at these meetups is 9.9 times out of 10, the numbers on your channel don't mean squat.
Nice.
You know, the people are who they're going to be no matter what. You know, most of the time, who you see on through their videos and everything else is exactly who they're going to be. You know, some people are a little more outgoing when they're in person than they are on camera. And some people are a little bit more pulled back when they're in person than they are on camera. But all in all, it doesn't, the numbers don't change who they are.
No.
You know, every once in a while out there in the world, you're going to have somebody that their numbers may make them present themselves a different way. But most of the time, once you get to know them and stuff, it actually could be it's really more of what's changing is it's making them more careful how they present themselves because they have more to lose in their minds, you know. But it doesn't mean that they're any different or that they're going to treat you any different. No. It's just they're more careful about gray area type items and conversations.
Yeah.
You know, it's not really change. It doesn't really change who they are, you know, or the personability of them or their kindness or anything like that. It just changes the conversations that they're willing to step in.
Yeah. Yeah. I really like Blaine's comment here. It's all about the friends and relationships that we make out there. We had a good time hanging out with Travis and Janaya and all. That's awesome. That is so great. Johnny agrees. She says that's so true. Yeah, you guys, I am so excited to meet you in person and to like meet so many people of our community because like people are saying in the chat, it's like family. And that's what it feels like for me so far on this end. And it's nice to know that it's probably going to still feel like that when I meet everyone in person. Like I love having the opportunity to ask you guys all these things because this is fairly new for you, right? So you probably can relate the most to the things I'm maybe worried about.
I mean, it doesn't matter if you've got 1 subscriber or no subscribers, no content, hundreds of videos, 200,000 subscribers and thousands of videos. It doesn't matter. You know, it's everybody is just, once again, it boils down to, we're all still human.
Yeah.
And we have a common interest or we wouldn't be there together.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, and it's finding people that understand
the common interest.
Yeah. And it's understanding that we all understand each other's mentalities for the most part of where we're at. You know, some people are part-timers. Some people are full-timers. Some people are only weekenders. And some people are supporters that are so outgoing. And even the ones that aren't outgoing, they are so awesome that they will show up, choose to sleep in their car if they have to, just because they want to hang out with you because they know what kind of person you are. Yeah. Even before they meet you in person. And that's the best thing to me is seeing not the other creators, but the supporters who come out just to show their love for you, you know, and some of them are turning around because of what we all do and just showing them that you don't have to wait and are becoming creators themselves.
Oh, absolutely.
And that to me, that is very uplifting is seeing, you know, we've had several folks that have told us that, you know, because of watching us and seeing us grow and everything else, that they're now starting their own channels. They're now doing their own stuff, or they're now working on getting their own rigs because this is something they've wanted to do for years, but they didn't know how. And it's like, dude,
well, and that's
you
just
just
like
gotta
all
follow
of us.
whatever your dream is, even if your dream's not going out on the road, even if your dream is building you $1 million house, start one brick at a time.
Well, and I mean, we've all been there before. Like, I mean, I still haven't hit the road, but I mean, all of us have had that point where we were learning what to expect and watching other people and following their journey and that excitement. And so, yeah, we're always on both sides of that coin, right?
Yes.
We're always watching others and hopefully having others watch us sometimes.
Right.
Right.
Oh my goodness. V says Paula was my fire and I'm forever grateful. Oh, pumpkin.
Yeah. And that's the other thing is you get out there too, and sometimes you realize that somebody's a fan, but you've never even really seen them comment on your videos or even talk much in your live streams. But then when they meet you in person, they start telling you all this stuff about yourself, and it's like, I've hardly seen any comments from you. I don't really see you in my chats. So I didn't, you don't realize who may be a fan and you don't even know it.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had a couple people that, throughout the journey that have come up and at points it's made me feel bad because they talked so much stuff about us and they knew so much stuff about us and our journey and everything, but I hadn't spent much time on their channels. And they, some of them were people that actually had channels, but I hadn't spent that much time on their channels. And I, on one hand, it kind of makes you feel bad. And it's like, dang, you know so much about me and I know so little about you.
Yeah. I like Amy with Amethyst Hayes says she knows her reason for starting lives and actual video is to help her mental state. Now, I found that to be something so true that I did not expect that to happen when I started live streams. I did not expect the connection to others and like these relationships that we've built, but what a gift that is. What a gift.
Yeah.
There's some nice comments in there. Thank you, Anne. And Joy Bless Life, thank you so much. I might not be on the road yet, but I have had a lot of adventures. Yep, nothing like jumping off stuff. That's my questions a lot. Now I get, what's the next thing you're jumping out of or off of?
Yeah.
I need maybe a different theme to my adventures.
Well, and it's that, talking about the adventures, one of the things like, Angie talks about, it's just sometimes stepping out the door can be the biggest adventure you take is just stepping out the door that day, getting in your car or using your feet and walking wherever, because you don't know what's going to happen that day or what good it's going to do you. And it's just, you got to put yourself out there.
Yep.
Yeah. It's tough. And pushing through fear. I know mine have been extreme things, but sometimes we don't give ourselves credit for those everyday steps that we take forward.
Yep.
Right. So it's like whatever works for you, whatever is a part of your journey. So like thinking like that, what was one of the first steps that you guys had to take before you started this lifestyle?
Was actually accepting the fact that I needed to let go of an 80-hour work week.
Yeah. We were losing so much time. In a regular job.
And it's crazy because on one hand, anybody who goes back through our, who is connected on our personal Facebooks and things like that, and sees things that we share out, there were a lot of journeys and adventures that we had while we were, working those jobs on our times off. It was that when we were off, it was go big, everything was a go big, but it was still that we weren't truly living. Because our kids were suffering. Our kids were missing out on that time with us where now any moment, if we're not working, we're not, they're not in school, any moment could be an adventure.
Yeah.
I mean, there were points that we were out on this adventure, out on this journey, and they're doing schoolwork and we're cruising down the road.
Yeah. You just find new ways to do it.
I wasn't in work at the moment and we were just cruising.
Yeah.
I want to thank Outdoor Adventures with Ron for that super chat. Thank you so much. He says, we love you, Paula, Travis, and Janai. Let me play a thank you for him. right. On my end, everything slows down. Like I didn't know it started playing, and I saw you both kind of bop into the music, and I knew it was working. Because on my end, it doesn't always. It's kind of weird that way. Oh my gosh. Okay, so in 5 minutes, you guys have got to go watch Van Life with Gina. All of you guys. It is going to be a crazy, like ridiculously crazy live stream tonight, and I am so excited for it. I think almost I'm gonna have to stop like 2 minutes early so that everybody can quickly go pee and grab a drink so that they don't miss any of it.
Yep.
We weren't supposed to use the cup for that.
You.
You know what? I adore you guys. I really do. Thank you so much for coming up on the live stream tonight.
Anytime.
It meant the world to me. It really, really did. And thank you everybody in the chat for being here. Happy birthday to my sweet, sweet son.
Happy birthday, Brayden.
I appreciate that. Let me play it. Thank you. So there we go. Nate just dropped the link for Van Life with Gina. I'm going to replace the pin I had. So we now have that at the top of the chat. Thank you everybody so much for being here. Thank you, Travis and Janai. I will see you guys over at Gina's.
Later.
Bye.
See you guys.